As I got older, I kind of just fell in love with cooking. At first, it was a hate and love relationship. It was like, well, I'm stuck with you, so let's make the most of it.
You're listening to Copper and Heat, the podcast exploring the unspoken rules and traditions of restaurants. I'm Katy Osuna. This episode is part 1 of 3 in a mini-series we're doing in collaboration with the Southern Smoke Foundation and Visit Houston. And we're addressing an unspoken thing in the restaurant industry that affects, well, all of us in some way: mental health. Back in October, Visit Houston flew me out to podcast from one of the coolest food events, not only in Houston, but also the country, the Southern Smoke Festival. Over 60 chefs gathered in the city to cook and serve food at this massive event. But it's not just about the food. It's also a fundraiser for the Southern Smoke Foundation. If you haven't heard of this foundation, started by a couple of food industry folks, they exist to take care of our own, as they say. And I'm going to let them tell you a little bit more about themselves.
She is Lindsay Brown, Executive Director of Southern Smoke.
Chris Shepard, co-founder and founding director of Southern Smoke.
Back in 2015, Chris and Lindsay were approached by a friend with a special request.
One of our good friends, who's a sommelier, was diagnosed with MS. And he came to us to see if we could do a fundraiser on his behalf, not to raise money for him because he had good insurance and he was fine, but awareness in the industry about MS and the toll it takes. We had just had a local chef, very promising local chef in Houston, get diagnosed with MS, not tell anyone, and then commit suicide when he could no longer use his knife. So it was a huge shock to the whole community. And that happened about 4 months before Antonio was diagnosed. And so it was raw, it was new. And so we said, sure, let's do an event. What should it be? And Chris said, well, what if we do sort of a South Carolina versus Texas event? And so we called Sean Brock and Rodney Scott from Charleston, and then Aaron Franklin from Austin. That's why we called it Southern Smoke, because there were 4 chefs, very first year, from the South. And we were going to smoke some food. And it turned into something quite larger.
So over the next couple of years, they put on this big fundraising event for the MS Society. But then, in 2017, something else big hit Houston: Hurricane Harvey.
And that really crippled our city. And there's a lot of funds out there, and then the Red Cross and the Mayor's Fund, just knowing that was never going to get in the hands of anybody that works in a drive-through or a cook or a dishwasher or a bus or a waiter, a farmer, that we needed to figure out that way. We figured out a way that through people could apply, and then it would go to a verifying committee and then an awards committee, and then directly into somebody's bank account. And that started the Emergency Relief Fund.
Back in 2018, we started granting nationally. So we were granting, people affected by the fires in Napa and Sonoma and tornadoes in Tennessee. We have 1 staff member and she's working all the cases. And then in February of 2020, we hired our second employee. And even Chris and I were like, do we really need 2 employees? Like, is this something that's necessary? And then, pandemic. In April of 2020, we got 36,000 applications. We hired furloughed restaurant workers to work as case workers. And so they were screening applications. They were working cases. Our awards committee was just literally working around the clock. Our staff was working around the clock. And it was almost 2 full years of that craziness.
8 years later, Southern Smoke is still working to support chefs and hospitality workers. To learn more about their emergency relief and mental health programs and apply for support, visit their website, southernsmoke.org. The annual Southern Smoke Festival is what brought me to Houston in October. Way more than the original 4 chefs, it's now a gathering of over 60. And it's a wide variety of chefs, no longer just those based in the South, and it's not just barbecue. So when I was invited to do some podcasting from there, to have conversations about mental health with chefs that I admire from all across the country, I was so stoked. As food events of this scale usually go, it was a jam-packed few days with the chefs buzzing in and out. There was a small chef lounge at one of the hotels in downtown Houston, which is where we recorded the conversations you're going to hear in the next 3 episodes. I set up a little table in the corner of the space where chefs were coming in and out to grab their welcome bags and morning treats, and had some very interesting and open conversations with chefs who are all very accomplished. From food and wine best chefs to James Beard Award winners to all sorts of best of lists. And even with all of those accolades and accomplishments, they all, like everyone else in the restaurant industry, are on their own journeys of mental health, trying to balance the demands of their careers with their own personal needs. For the next 3 episodes, we'll be bringing you into the Chef's Lounge to hear these conversations with chefs Emmanuel Chavez, Ana Castro, G. Benchuan Painter, Ray Maciel, and Carlo Lamagna. And first up is Emmanuel Chavez. Well, yeah, thanks again for doing this.
No, thank you guys for having me. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Welcome to Houston.
After a 3-year stint in Seattle, Washington, Emmanuel Chavez returned to Houston to open his first restaurant, Tatemó, with partner Megan Mall. The pair started selling masa and tortillas at Urban Harvest Farmers Market during the pandemic before finding a permanent home in the Spring Branch neighborhood of Houston. A year later, Tatemó was named a finalist for the 2023 James Beard Foundation Award for Best New Restaurant, and Manuel was named one of the 2023 Food and Wine Best New Chefs.
My name's Emmanuel Chavez. I am the co-owner of Tatemó. It's a 20-seat restaurant in Houston, Texas that focus on sustainability, working with local community, building community, and most important, reintroducing to a new generation of Hispanics maize or maize, what we call in the restaurant. We focus a lot on native seeds that we import from Mexico, from different states. And just to simplify all that, is basically we're the tortilla guys in the city.
Oh, I love that. Actually, okay, let's start with then how you became a chef. Like, why, besides the food part of it, because obviously the food part is really important and like being inspired by food, but like the vibe of restaurants and the environment of restaurants, like why did you decide I want to do this for a living?
I think like a lot of my peers, the industry kind of chose me instead of me choosing the industry. When my family and I migrated from Mexico to Texas, the only jobs available at that time were in restaurants for undocumented people. So my parents kind of got pulled into the industry literally like 2 days right after we got here, with no resources, no family, no income. So we had no way of like getting a babysitter or staying with friends because we were so young. So we kind of just had to tag along. And back then, it was more accepted in the industry to just bring your kids to work. It was no big deal, especially with immigrant-run restaurants. So we just kind of my sister and I just tagged along for the first 3 years. Kind of just grew up in the industry, seeing chips being salted or salsa being poured, fajitas sizzling, the dang ticket machine or cumbias in the background where the ladies were making enchiladas. To me, that was like my introduction to the industry. It's what I know. It's my childhood. So I didn't really choose it. It kind of just chose me.
Yeah. Interesting. So as you got older, you ended up in Seattle?
As I got older, I kind of just fell in love with cooking. At first, it was a hate and love relationship. It was like, well, I'm stuck with you, so let's make the most of it. And I just kind of started taking it a bit more seriously. The industry started to shift a bit. Top Chef was starting to become a thing. You see a lot of chefs in town started getting tattoos, being glamorous, getting spotlights. And I'm like, I want to do that. Because at that time, I was around 18. I'm 34 now. I had already tattoos on my body. So the opportunities for me were very slim at the moment. Being an immigrant, being tatted, people looked at you a lot differently. So being in the kitchen was kind of like my safe zone. It's basically the only places that were hiring at the moment, almost 12, 13 years ago. So I just stuck in a little gray area and try to achieve station positions little by little until one day I came to the conclusion that I really wanted to make an impact in my community. I wanted to be a part of like a greater conversation, and I had to make some sacrifices, take this seriously, and just invest emotion, time, and everything that I had into it. So I made a decision, kind of step away from Houston, move to Seattle for a little bit, get some live experience, see what else was out there, gain some cool techniques, and get inspired by new ingredients, and just that live experience, I think, makes a huge difference whenever you're trying to achieve something differently.
Interesting. Why Seattle?
That's a great question. It was really odd. One chef, Instagram at that time was 2015, 2014, was becoming a thing. Everybody who's in the industry was posting pictures of their food. You know, it was or knife cuts or ingredients. It was becoming a sensation. Slow, but for sure. And then that's how most people started to network. That was like the first introduction of where the industry was heading. So if you were ahead of it, and if you were really curious and you were constantly posting and sharing, you saw the future of what was going to become. So a chef from out there reached out to me, say if I ever wanted a job, to reach out to him, that he'll set me up with a job, a housing, to help him open a few restaurants. Mind you, this guy had no idea who I was, what I wanted to do. He just saw me posting pictures of food, took a chance, shot, and then next thing you know, I'm over here driving across the country for a job for a guy who I have never met in real life.
Strangers on the internet, apparently.
I could have gotten catfish. I could have got that. Now that I think about it, that I reflect on my time in Seattle, that whole experience could have gone south super quick.
So you said that kitchens were your safe zone, and that's something that I've heard from folks, and especially like the whole kitchens are a pirate ship and like misfits and all of that. I also worked in kitchens until the pandemic. Do you feel like that it has always been a safe space, and that it's like, is it getting better? Is it getting worse as far as being a safe place for people?
I think to an extent it is a safe space as far as feeling like you need purpose in life. But again, to me, working for someone at a restaurant, it's like a relationship. You're going to have some good ones, or you're going to have some bad ones. What you put into them is what you get out of them. And unfortunately, not all relationships work, and that's okay. But so the ones that do work, and the ones that, when you're able to walk away from them, bring something to your life, I think those are the great ones. Whether you work 16-hour days, 17-hour days, you know that at the end of the day, you give it your all, and then you gain friendships, you gain mentorships, or greater opportunities for you out there besides the restaurant spaces. I think that those are the good spaces, or the good comfort zones, or the good safe spaces. And again, like a relationship, there's some bad ones, there's always going to be bad ones, and that's also okay. It's not something that we can shy away. Now we have more platforms to share stories about the bad ones, so we can kind of like stir away from certain habits and things of that nature. But they're always going to be there. It's like a yin yang. You need that balance in life.
Yeah, and that's something. So like I also worked in like fine dining kind of spaces, and I went from like gastropub kind of things in Idaho, smaller city in Idaho, to then the Bay Area, where it was just like, this is a whole other world. Yeah. And like Michelin stars and what?
And scrubbing and tickets.
Well, as you were talking about, okay, for the audience listening, we were talking before about how your kitchen is immaculate.
We take pride in that, for sure.
Yeah, and that was definitely like everything was scrubbed. We used those scrubby pads to like polish the top of the, everything like that.
And you have someone following you.
Yep. So all of that, and there's like you were saying, there's like a balance between having some discipline and taking pride in your place of work is really important. And that was something that I learned a lot there, is keeping everything neat and tidy, which is great. And then there's the other side of it of having like so much pressure. And it's like, I love cooking, and that's why I got into food, obviously. I love the fast pace of it. Service, having all of the chaos is great. Yeah. Like, it's that's why I love it. Right? It is addicting. And it's like, it's great. And then there's the part, it's like, okay, now how do I come down from that after it? And there's a lot of good ways to do that and a lot of bad ways to do that. Right. Unhealthy ways to do that. I realized pretty quick that I was not doing things healthily. And so trying to kind of manage the anxiety and the pressure of that is really hard, I think, when I don't know that a lot of cooks have kind of those tools, maybe more so now. But yeah, I don't know if you had a similar experience or how you've grown as you've gone through the industry.
No, for sure. No. Again, I think what creates our industry so unique from others is that no matter what level of restaurant you decide to pursue, something connects all of us, and that's the high, right? It's the after that definitely sets apart the good path from the bad path. I stopped drinking almost 7 years ago because, again, like yourself, I didn't know how to get off that high after service. So it was always going out to drink and then
shift drinks and whatnot.
It starts with a shift drink, but you don't realize when you're young and when you want to achieve a 1-star, a great review, or be in a podcast or whatever it is, that you're developing habits, right? Yeah. So one night of going out, great. When it becomes an actual activity of like, I need it, I must, it's no longer a hobby, or a lifestyle. That's how a lot of people start to step away. And unfortunately they blame it in kitchens, but in reality it's the after that definitely destroys you more than the actual kitchen.
I mean, what made you realize like, oh, can't do this anymore?
I definitely hit rock bottom. I had no money, I had no energy. I was in my 20s, I looked like I was 50. I just had no energy. I was trying to balance in too many jobs, living paycheck to paycheck, not because they were in pain, it's because I was spending all that income in drinking and going out and having fun. I was definitely slowing me in my process. And again, I always had a goal in mind to open a restaurant, and in my mind, my father told me, the foundations of your life start with you. If you're not grounded, if you're not rooted in good foundations, like, everything in life will collapse. So if one day you want to be a chef or have a restaurant or be in the public eye, because at this point this industry is very out there for the public to judge, you need to have a good foundation and good roots. And that was, for me, that was like the clicking moment, like, oh shit, my life's a mess. I'm never gonna be what I want to be if I don't make some changes. And drinking for me was definitely one of them. And it was probably the best one I've ever made. I don't think I can ever drink again.
Yeah, that sounds like it would be a rough one.
Yeah.
But yeah, good for you. Good
Thank
work.
you. And that's
hard.
something that we definitely implement, like, at the demo a lot. We try to balance, like, you are gonna come, when you come and work with us, not for us, because we're there every day with the team, you're constantly understanding that it's a 15-hour day, 16-hour days, that it's going to be a push, that the whole city's looking at us, that the expectations are high, that we're going to push together, but we try to balance it a little bit. I call my cooks chefs. Everyone's a chef there, no matter the level, because we want to train that mentality. Like, you can, at one point, this can be yours. If you work hard and you stay healthy, emotionally, mentally, financially, you can be in this position. So they're all chefs, regardless of the cooking level. The stress is on me and Megan. Let us handle the stress. Let us deal with that. All you have to do is support your team, support us, the restaurant will support you, and let's push together. But unlike other restaurants, whenever one of our team members comes to, like, chef, I need a day off because I have a family emergency, or like, my friends are in town, I want to see them, my family's having a party, I don't get to see them, we always grant them, whether we're extremely full or low, whatever it is, the occasion, we grant people those opportunities to really enjoy their life, right? Because if you're giving us 120, I want to give you 120 as well, to kind of balance what you're giving me. So I want to give back. That's something that we definitely take a lot of pride in.
Yeah. You said a lot of things in there that I want to ask you about. I think the pressure, and you touched on, like, Top Chef and Instagram kind of like creating this celebrity chef, I'm using air quotes, creating that a kind of different culture of, like, the eyes are always on you, and, like, you have a lot of pressure. Yeah. And it's, and I mean, congratulations.
Thank you.
All of the awesome things that are happening right now. But yeah, what are some of the things that you have to think about differently, or maybe just navigate a little bit more now that you have all this attention?
I feel
which
like
is awesome.
For the young chef, when they come to me and they're like, I want to work for you, that's a level of pressure beyond the pressure that a diner gives me. If a pressure comes and dines and doesn't enjoy the experience, that's very subjective. You know, my team tried their best. We understand that the restaurant's small. We understand, like, we do have limitations because we're self-funded. We don't have people giving us money. It's very small and intimate for a reason, but it's ours, you know. Like, at the end of the day, if something breaks, it comes out of our pocket. We make the decisions, we close when we want, we give our staff free parties, dinners, like, we control the entire thing. We don't operate on no one's time. So that's something that we really enjoy. So I can live with that type of pressure of, like, I didn't like this was not good, he's not creative, or whatever, caviar on a quesadilla, like, why? That pressure, that to me doesn't mean anything. That's not even pressure, that's just noise. To me, pressure nowadays, it's more of having people thinking that, or not really understanding the level of sacrifice that you're gonna have to do, of commitment, to not to myself but to them and their lifestyle, to achieve something that they want. I get a lot of people coming to me that they want to open restaurants. but the first thing that comes out of their mouth is like, I don't want to work hard now, but when it's time for me to open it, I'll work hard. And it doesn't really work like that, because if you don't want to work hard when it's easy, trust me, it's not going to work out for you when it's really, really hard.
Yeah.
And this industry is really, really hard.
Yeah. That's really funny. Yeah, it's so complicated, because I feel like talking to kind of the next generation, kind of the folks that are younger than us, and the industry is changing, and work-life balance and all of that is a lot more of a topic of conversation, but it is still really hard.
Yeah.
The work is still really hard.
Yeah, it's in the word. It's a word.
Yeah,
it has to be hard.
And I think that is something that's hard for folks to navigate, is to be like, yes, I am going to do as much as I can to make this a good experience for you, but also I still need you to give me effort. Like, it needs to be kind of go both ways.
Relationship.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a
Relationship, community, like there's lots of different ways. Yeah, and I like how you're saying, like, they give you 120 and you give them 120%.
I have to match it, yeah.
Yeah, I think it's complicated, and I'm wondering what are some of the conversations that you have to have with folks that are trying to work with you about, like, okay, here's the deal. Like, this is how we do this.
Well, first of all, there's not a lot of tasting menu restaurants in the city. So the level of trying to achieve something that you really can achieve, like, our whole mentality is Michelin. We all know, or hopefully a lot of people know, that Michelin doesn't come to Texas.
Yeah.
Right. But it's more of the self-pride, trying to achieve something for yourself, not just for the recognition, but for yourself, that drives us. So a lot of people come here like, why do we try to achieve something that we're never going to get? It's not the recognition. It's the repetition. It's the self-worth value behind it, right? So that's one. And then two, it's very hard to tell people, don't go out and drink. To kind of revisit the first topic that we had. Yeah. What you do outside the restaurant does affect your productivity and then your level of focus in the restaurant. Yeah. So we really, really, really encourage people not to drink at the restaurant. I mean, we can't force them, right? But if they do drink and they come to work and they realize how challenging it is, you see how 26 how hard can it be, the level of intensity and detail oriented, and how on tempo we have to be together. You starting to see, like, okay, this is exactly why there's not a lot of restaurants like this in the city, because it is very, very demanding and focus driven. Yeah. So they start to make a few life changes here and there. We also pay weekly, so that if you don't drink, you starting to see increase in your life, in your savings or in your money. So that kind of like drives them a little bit to not drink. Unfortunately, it's very hard to encourage people to take care of themselves if they don't want to take care of themselves. Not 100%. Having a good support system around you can also be very mentally draining, emotionally draining, and you tend to step away when you don't have good people to like lean on. So that's unfortunately our biggest challenge now. Like, as a chef, it's my biggest challenge. Like, how do I help you outside the restaurant? Even though it's not my responsibility, but it kind of is my responsibility. So that's my challenge right now.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that is really hard. And that, I mean, you said it, like, you can't help them if they don't want to help themselves.
Yeah.
And I think that is something that, at least from my experience in the industry, is that, like, this is my partner in life and in the business. And when I was working at, this 3 Michelin star place, it was like I had Monday, Tuesday off. He works like Monday through Friday kind of thing. And never saw each other.
Yeah, it's draining.
It is. And then so like trying to find that support system when the support system is just all other industry people who are going out and drinking and like staying up really late and doing all of that. It's hard. It's so hard to get out of it.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
It's a vicious cycle.
Yeah, 100%. Do you feel like that is changing though? Like, are you seeing more people? I don't know what it's like here in Houston compared to like other parts of the country.
Oh, no, definitely. I think community and especially like things like Southern Smokes have definitely helped out. You know, there's more conversations, there's more resources out there for us to have these conversations, which can be uncomfortable at times. But they shouldn't. They're not a taboo. Restaurants are run by human beings. Humans make mistakes. There's not one perfect human being in this planet, so therefore there's never going to be a perfect restaurant, regardless of how many accolades you have. And we need to have those conversations. So okay, maybe we can't fix it, but we can definitely adjust it, right? We can definitely start thinking beyond our times, because it's not going to change in our time, but it can definitely change in maybe 2 or 3 generations for sure.
Yeah.
But it also creates challenges as owners, business owners.
Yeah.
So it's just finding that balance of, okay, what works, what doesn't, I also got to think financially, like how do I make money? How do I make money to pay you? So it's a lot. It's a lot
for you to have to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, 100%.
Yeah, I don't even cook. I barely cook. It's like cooking's not even in my mind anymore. It's like, okay, how do I take care of my team? How do I create opportunity for them, make them feel space and heard and wanted and needed at the end of the day? Because they do give a lot of energy.
Yeah. That is a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
How do you, besides taking that step to not drink and taking care of yourself, what are some of the other ways that you do that for you?
Now it's more of a lifestyle. Not, I can turn away a drink, or I can be around people who drink. I can definitely socialize without having that itch of getting that one drink to socialize.
Yeah.
It's more of having a good relationships. I'm trying to nurture relationships that don't have anything to do with the industry, to kind of just step away and have a clear mind. I like to hang out with people that don't cook. I like to hang out with old friends from high school, like cousins, family members, parents. I'm starting to hang out a lot with my parents. I'm 34 now, and I'm starting to see how they're growing and changing, and the energy that they had 10 years ago is not the same energy. They're a whole different human being. So I'm trying to like enjoy and dedicate a day to that, to kind of just soak that in, because I have memories of them as a kid. I want to have memories of them as an adult. I want to create those memories. And again, we never talk about the restaurant. They have no idea what a Jamesbury is. I don't think they care that we have caviar at the restaurant. My mom has no idea that Food and One even existed, and it's good for me. Like it's good because I don't have that pressure, and I don't have to like. It keeps me humble. It makes me realize there's life outside our industry, and it's okay. And I need that balance as well for myself. Yeah. For some clarity. Yeah.
Does that kind of help with? Oh, you were saying you're still striving for kind of that Michelin level, whether or not they're actually going to come to Houston. But does that help to kind of have those 2 different kind of perspectives?
Absolutely. Yeah, because we do take it seriously, but then again I go see my mom, and then I remember, oh my god, it's not that serious. It's cooking.
It's food.
It's food. Like I enjoy McDonald's, Shake Shack. Like it definitely brings balance to my life. I'm not always obsessed with the next eyes on me. It just kind of brings me back to real life, real time. And I value my time with people more. Like I actually get to enjoy and have genuine relationship with people.
That's really like refreshing to hear, having worked in those environments. And I think it's been 4 or 5 years since I left like Michelin. I worked in some other kitchens after that, but it was just a lot. It was a lot. And I have hope that things are going to change and like be better for other folks. But yeah, it's hard. It's been really interesting doing the podcast, talking to some different owners like yourself who are trying to change things and try to do things a little bit differently, make space for their team. But again, the financial pressures of it. Yeah,
for sure. But again, we step into this industry knowing that we're not going to get rich off of it, right? It's not, we're not trying to milk money. That's not what we do, especially at a higher level.
Yeah. Well,
the more people you have. Well, let me rephrase that. We embody the definition of a small business. Yeah. We're like the modern day mom and pop. We're 13 people on our team. So fun day. We've opened Tatemó with, I think, $55,000, which you go to somebody, you even go to the bank and present a business plan with $50,000, and you tell them you're going to open a restaurant that's going to be a tasting menu. I don't know, outskirts of the city, they're going to look at you like, you're not going to survive. You're like, no. But again, you have to like, as an immigrant or like as a person who has seen change and just evolve and adapted with change and throughout your time, you just kind of learn and go like, okay, I'm not going to spend money on expensive plateware. We don't need an expensive RoboCoupe. Do I really need a vacuum sealer? Like you just kind of like start tweaking things here and there. You start shopping small, think big, shop small. Yeah. That's my business plan for anybody. Let's start like that. Think big, shop small.
I love that. $55,000?
Yeah.
You started 55. Wow.
I started $55,000 and I started selling masa and tortillas from my apartment in Montrose. So I started very, very from the ground. I knew it was going to be a hit because I believed it. I just needed people to believe it. And so.
Why mice?
I want to represent my culture. I myself grew up in Tex-Mex restaurants, so I didn't really know where a tortilla was coming from. All I knew was you open a bag, you add water, hand press, and you have fresh tortillas, quote unquote. That's not true. So we really gotta we gotta do more. We gotta have conversation about where's our cuisine coming from, how it should shift in, where we want to take it. Because if we don't know where we come from, we're not gonna have any idea where we're gonna go. So that was very important to go back and understand where I come from.
Yeah. And how is your kind of the craft around that? How has that developed for you over the years?
Well, it's very taboo-ish almost to have a male make tortillas. It's not very like, oh wow, it's not very sought out or pursued, or people don't value it as much as they do sushi or pasta, which is very unfortunate. Again, most restaurants that do quote unquote sell you the idea of hand press, they usually sell you the nostalgia of like an old lady having them and things. It's never like a guy. So it was very hard for me to be like, hey, I'm 28, 29, I'm making tortillas, I'm charging you 77 cents for them. They're coming from this seed, from these people, from this state, imported by this company, who's run by this person, who started like harvesting and things like that. I got a lot of middle fingers in the beginning, being like, who are you again? Like, why should we pay 77 cents for a tortilla when I can go to the store and buy 100 for $1?
Yeah.
So it's definitely changing. It's more of it became very popular now. You see more people making tortillas or being curious. So the conversation definitely shifted. But when I started, especially New Year's season, it was
interesting.
Not fun.
5 years ago-ish? 5-ish?
Yeah, it was not fun.
Yeah, that's interesting. That the value of food. This is something our previous season was all about, like the value. We actually talked to Angel Medina at República.
Oh my God, we did a pop-up with them.
Yeah, that's what I
awesome.
saw. And so we had like a similar conversation about like the value of food generally, but the value that people place on corn tortillas and like stuff like that.
We don't have it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And so that's very cool.
Yeah, and I want to believe it's because of that, the conversation of immigration. When we migrate, we leave behind our culture and we have to adapt to a new one. And then it's not always authentic. It's very forced to us. To a lot of people, authentic is Tex-Mex. Authentic, it's opening a bag and rehydrating a flour that's been processed with water. And if that's authentic to you, that's great. But once you start breaking it down, it's more to it. There's definitely has to be a connection with our own culture and identity collectively, right?
Yeah. How has that relationship to cultural identity changed for you since you were like a kid and moved here?
I realized that I didn't know anything about where I came from and who I was. Again, a blue tortilla means nothing to me. I need to know what type of maize it is, where is it coming from, because they're very different. Honestly, it's like sushi, and we compare a lot like sushi. We present some of the courses during the tasting menu, because when you go to a sushi bar, you don't just see fish. There's a type of fish, you know where it's coming from, you know the fish monk that process it, who shipped it, if it's dried aged, not a dried aged. There's so much like enthusiasm and I don't know, like fanism. Is that a word? Fanism?
Fanaticism?
Fanaticism? I think so.
There we go.
Over sushi, right? And you're curious, and this chef, and he's touching it. Why can't we have that for tacos or tortillas or Mexican food in general, or it's Latin? By any Latin food, and we don't, and it's sad. Yeah,
that's so true. Do you feel like that is changing a little bit? Are you able to have conversations with guests a little bit more easily, or is it still just like, fuck this?
No, absolutely not. We've definitely made a huge, now almost a year and almost 2 years open, we've definitely made an impact. Publications definitely helped. Being with Gordon Ramsay helped. Being a finalist for James Bureau definitely helped. Food and Wine definitely helped. People take us more seriously. People definitely understand more. They're more open to it. They see why we do things, and I think people are more curious now than ever. There's more of a sense of pride, especially in Houston. Well, you see it in other states too. There's a lot of people now being the front men in their states, kind of like República and in Portland. You definitely see that whole change, a revolution of brown folks being proud and be like, look, fuckers, this is where we come from. This is what it is. We need to start nurturing our culture and respecting it and admire each other for it.
Yeah. Like you said, it's just like the amount of work and effort and like the thought that goes into it from start to finish.
It's a lot.
Like it's so much.
It's like pasta. It's like everything else.
Well, the fact that pasta you can charge so much more for than like a tortilla.
They're like grain cousins, flour, maize. So they're essentially the same thing.
Italy took the tomato anyway, and don't even get me started.
Right?
That's really good to hear that's happening down in Houston as well with that kind of community.
Yeah, we're very happy. I mean, I want to believe that's one of the reasons why we got invited to this year's Southern Smokes, because we're bringing that conversation to the table.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and to kind of go back to what you said about getting those different accolades and the awards, it is interesting that external validation was not needed because, like, obviously the product is you've been doing great things for a while, but now folks are kind of starting to be like, oh yeah, it is valuable because these people at Food and Wine talked about it, or these people at James Beard started talking about it. Yeah. How do you feel about that?
I would be lying if I say I didn't enjoy it, because it does bring you that sense of validation, like you said, and it brings me happy to see that I can provide jobs, honestly, to people that may or may not have an idea what they want to do with life. I've created a community within my community. I see my team come to work with smiles on their faces, laughing. Yesterday, no lie, we closed the restaurant for the event because we just there's no way we could do both of them. And not one person was like, oh, I don't want to do it. They were like, yeah, I want to make 2,000 quesadillas on site, and it's gonna suck and it's gonna be a lot of work, but I want to do it. Like, they're proud to be a part of the restaurant and that change. So that to me means a lot. That to me means more than the accolades. Because the accolades, they may or may not come under my name. The restaurant itself, it's the team's restaurant. I don't know if you saw me yesterday, but I didn't say hi to anybody. My back was turned.
I think that might be him, but I can't tell.
Because I'm not like that. I want them to enjoy the wave. You know, I want them to be proud. Like, oh shit, like we're here. Like, we're next to one of the best restaurants in America. There's so many chefs out here that they grew up like admiring. Like, we're here with them, cooking with them, not as spectators, like legitimate on the lineup. So I want them to enjoy it as much as I enjoy it.
That's really cool.
Yeah, because in reality, like, I can't do it without them. So the restaurant's nothing without them. So
yeah, and that's something definitely, like, with all of this celebrity chefdom stuff. Sometimes, I think some folks probably get caught up in that a little bit.
Oh, for sure. Like, you at the restaurant during the tastings, I don't go out and say hi to people. I send one of the chefs. Like, to Salts, we have a truffle add-on, and everybody thinks, like, oh, the chef's going to come out, and the chef barely comes up. Like, there's sometimes I have to lie to people. I'm like, oh, tell them that I'm gone. And I'll send someone else, and they're like, because honestly, the restaurant is bigger than me at this point. The city knows Tatemó. They don't know exactly who Emmanuel Chavez is, and it was built like that. I want the restaurant to keep going even when I'm not there.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that, oh, it has to be me, or, like, let them know that I'm here, or... It's not like that. We're one team, one dream.
Yeah, and that kind of goes back to tie it all up with a bow, like taking care of yourself. Because if it's bigger than you, then it's not like you have to be there all the time. Yeah. And you can, take that time to take care of yourself, and then the team sees that. I can also do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like they enjoy that I trust them to, like, step away and be like, you go sauce, you do this truffle.
You got this.
Yeah. You tell them that you're the chef, or you talk to your friend, like, you talk to the table because you know the menu. You know, you know this is yours. You're here prepping it, touching it, cooking it, eating it, snacking on it, cleaning it, storing it. You know, you want to do this one day. What other restaurant is gonna give you that opportunity to step to the dining room, have a conversation with the guest, and just because you never know what that guest might be interested in opening a restaurant one day. Guess what? You just met your partner.
Yeah.
So
cool. Well, to wrap it up and bring it back to the mental health part of it, what are some other things that you do to take care of yourself? You already mentioned kind of developing other relationships. Yeah, what other things do you do to take care of yourself and your mental health?
I definitely, like I said, I try to stay away from social media as much as possible. Social media, it's probably one of their a biggest blessing, but it can also be a two-way mirror. We tend to compare each other so much with other people in social media, which is really, really bad. We are always on the lookout to what's next, what's new, what should I do. So that's for sure. I put my phone away. I try to answer emails as much as possible. Sometimes there are so many that I can't see them. I try to always... I'm always cooking. I'm legitimately cooking on the line. I'm with the guys. Like I mentioned earlier, when one of the chefs comes to me like, "Chef, can I have this day off, a Saturday, because a family friend or whatever?" I'm like, yeah. And I cook. Like I get on the line and Megan will run the pass and we just balance it. But I enjoy cooking. I want to let them know that, hey, after 16 years, I'm still in love with it. I can still do it. I don't want to do it because it hurts. My body hurts.
Yes.
I'm not 20 like them. But I can keep up. I enjoy it. This is fun. Just things like that. It's like, again, nurturing, finding new ways to fall in love with your love.
Yeah.
Keep the spark going. You know? Going for walks for me, it's definitely like my must. Going for a walk, breathing, exercising, running, jogging. I did yoga for a little bit. That's a monster.
That's not your thing.
Not my thing. It's really, really challenging for sure. It requires a lot of like meditation, a lot of time, a lot of discipline, and unfortunately, as much as I want to say I need to put my phone away, I do have a restaurant. It does require my attention.
Yeah.
Just stepping away from time to time, for sure. The Instagram thing or the phone thing, for sure.
I love that. That's great. Well, cool. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, it's so nice to meet you. Where can our listeners find you? Speaking of not using social media,
my personal Instagram, it's dishwasher89. Yes, I still wash dishes, so that's never gonna change. And then the Instagram, it's Tatemó HTX, at Tatemó HTX. For
perfect.
Sure.
Sounds great.
Thank you very much. Hope you guys enjoy Houston.
Yeah. Thank you so much to Emmanuel for the chat. You can find more about him and Tatemó in the show notes. In the next episode, I'm talking with chefs Ana Castro from New Orleans and G. Bentron Painter from Houston. So tune in for that next Tuesday. A huge thank you to Visit Houston for sponsoring my trip out to Houston and to the Southern Smoke Foundation for an incredible time. To learn more and apply for their emergency assistance or mental health programs, check out the links in the show notes. This episode was produced by me, Katy Osuna. It was co-produced and edited by Rachel Palmer. Sound engineering and scoring was by Ricardo Osuna. Thanks for listening.